Okay, tubers, this is what we got today. I'll have to excuse all the noises from my phone as one just goes off. I got a lot of people messaging me today on the marketplace. Got a 1983, at least the engine is at least 83 Briggs. Most likely the same on the air compressor. Got an air compressor here that put that on silent. Got an air compressor here that I picked up recently. Don't believe it runs. The fuel, as you can see, is very varnishy. It smells horrible, but I'm not sure it runs. I'm not sure what needs to be done. I'm just going to do a quick one on this one. See what we can do about getting it running. You'll have to excuse the view because I currently don't have a full-size tripod, or else I'd put you on the opposite side. I can put you on the ground. How's that? Would you rather be on the ground, or would you rather be behind it in the dark? I'm gonna go ahead and put you that way. And we're gonna spray just a little bit of carb clean in the carburetor. See if we can get an ignition at all out of this. See if the ignition system works. I'm not sure if it's points condensers. I believe it would be, let's see. It says magnetron on the front of it. I'm gonna guess it's not points condensers on this guy. It's probably solid state. Have anything going on here? Still nothing. From what I was looking at it earlier, it looked like it had one of the valves stuck. As you can hear, there's really not a lot of compression. There's, in fact, probably zero. All I'm feeling is the compression of the compressor side. I believe what's going on here is that the intake is stuck open. The intake valve, I believe, is stuck open on this guy. So what we're going to go ahead and do is disassemble it. Pull it all apart. I already pulled the bottom two off of it. Realized I really need to make a video on this guy for you guys. There we go. It is a solid state. Let's go ahead and pull that head off. Here currently, so I'll have to do it all by hand. Let's see here. Not a 14, not a 13. Is it a 12? Or maybe it's. Let's see, what do I have here? It's a 13. 13 cents. I think it's actually SAE. I think it's half inch, but I don't have half inch socket, so I will go ahead and just do the 13 mil. Get this guy on there. A little bit more things like that. The 40s, 50s, all the way up like 80s. I have 90 markings, things like that. Wait, that's interesting. So, see, try with the 9 up. Solid. That was the RPM. One more here. Nothing else. One. Holding guard over there. That's it. My marks will be that. Maybe right here. So, we're here. Sometimes use it. Oh, use a little big. Let's go on. That's it. Hopefully, you can hear me over the freeway noises. Hopefully, you can hear me over the freeway noises. I was just funny to see how small that is. I will have to lube this up as well. We'll go over that soon. It's actually loose. Anyways, let's see what happens here. Here's the exhaust. Here's the intake, and it's not stuck. Let's see. Just looking at it here. Seems to go down all the way. Not sure why it's backfiring out of the intake unless there's a little bit of schmutz or something. Could be a little bit of schmutz on that valve. You could probably lap it and fix it. It seems to go down all the way. I don't think it's bent at all. Would you stop bouncing? Huh. I was expecting to find a stuck valve. Definitely got a lot of carbon. Looks like it's been running a little on the rich side for a while. This is your adjustment screw right here. We'll have to confirm that once we get this thing running. But I'm not really seeing anything terribly wrong. There's still even some cross hatching in the cylinder. It's worn, but there is a little bit of cross hatching still there. Yeah, I was really well, you know what? Let's watch that again. Watch that intake valve. Oh, you know what? There is schmutz right there. Right there. I can see it. It's a piece of carbon. I wish that would just move out of the way, but I don't want to bend it. Let's see if we can zoom in here and see it. Right there, you see it? A little bit of schmutz on that valve seat right there. That's all that it takes. I'm gonna go ahead and put some carb cleaner on that, see if I can clean that little schmutz. Sorry about the camera work here. See if I can clean that schmutz off. See whatever we get. I'm gonna go ahead and clean that off, and then I'm gonna get to work. I'll have to finish this another day. Alrighty, tubers. A little different than when you last saw it. We've got that intake valve out. We've got the exhaust valve loose. You can see a little, let's see if I grab it here with one hand. You can see that valve is pretty worn. Or the valve guide, rather. You got your intake valve. Let's see how that is. Not as bad. Still a little bit of wiggle, but not as bad. Sorry for the camera lens in the video there. I didn't even realize it. But we're gonna do the seats don't look bad, and there was just simple garbage on the seats. You see a little bit of something there. Don't believe it's a burn mark, but we're gonna go ahead and lap these. Alrighty. Not Corona. These valve lapping tools have been sitting in the sun, so they're nice and soft and malleable, which is kind of nice. Didn't mean it to do it that way, but hey, it's still nice. Got some brand new valve lapping compound, if I can speak. Go ahead and lap these guys. See what we get out of it. If this engine ends up not running, having issues, what have you, I do have another engine I can throw on this. It's actually almost exactly the same engine. just a couple years newer. I believe it's a 92, 93, somewhere in there. So what valve lapping compound is pretty much liquid sandpaper. It's water based, so you can rinse it away with water if you need. Or any solvent or anything you got. What it does is you're using this surface and the valve seat itself, and you're lapping them into each other, meaning they're going to be the same shape, same flatness, that kind of thing. I used to do this as a service when I had lawnmowers come in, especially Tecumseh's. Years ago. I've actually got a video of it. To go way, way back. I've got some videos of doing it on a Tecumseh, because I don't believe those engines were lapped ever. And they didn't run very well from the factory, and I charged X amount to do the service. It's almost a part of like a tune-up on them. And every single time, or almost every single time, I always got back that, what did you do to this thing, because it runs better than factory. I used to keep head gaskets for that Tecumseh on hand. And I'm not sure they really do a lot of lapping from the factory on these small engines, especially not lawnmowers, you know. A quick throw together lawnmower engine. I'm not sure if they do it or not. I'd imagine they have a machine that, okay, this is cut specifically for this seat, throw it together and you're good to go. You're still not going to get as good of a seat as you can with lapping. The reason why I'm lifting every so often, because when you're doing this, it pushes all the paste out. When you lift it, it sucks the paste back in, and you keep going. So as you're using this stuff too, it starts out as a heavy grit, and it gets finer and finer as you're working it. So if you go do it in one go, you start with a coarse and you end up kind of with a fine. And I usually go until there's almost no change after lifting it. Yeah, that does not want to stay. Alright, I'm going to call it there. When the paste is brand new, it's really noisy when you first set it down. But once the paste gets worn, you lift it and set it down, and it's almost the same noise. Let's see what we got after doing the valve grinding. Not valve grinding, valve lapping. And that is gorgeous, actually. Probably better than factory. Can you see that all right? Perfect, all the way around. Now when you lap a valve, sometimes it can sink the valve slightly more into the seat. Obviously you're taking material away. However tiny amounts it is still taking material away. So you might have to check your valves, make sure that you're not less your spec of your valve lash is correct, because if your valve lash isn't correct, you're just going to end up burning your valves that you just lapped and causing even more issues and damage and what have you. And by the way, the engine is currently at TDC for anyone who wanted to know. As you can see, piston's all the way up, both valves are all the way down, TDC. Top, dead center. There we go. And again, that seat, or the valve train on this is worn, but I don't know how many hours are on this thing, and with the valve train being the way it is, I'm just going to lap it, throw it back together, and hope for the best. See what we can get, see if we can bring that compression up slightly, because there was obviously gases leaking past those valves, so at least the intake valve. So we're going to go ahead and lap the other one off camera, and then I'm going to get this thing reassembled. See you in just a little bit. Alright, the valves are back in, and it has passed the test with flying colors. Before you put a little bit of carb cleaner, you want to use something very, very light, not water, it's too thick. Use something like a solvent or gasoline or carb cleaner, brake cleaner even. But you put it on the valves, and if it doesn't leak past the valves, then it passes, and it has absolutely passed. Before, you'd put any carb cleaner around these and it would soak right through. So we are definitely sealing up again. That's awesome. You can see that one evaporating a little bit, but that's just because of the wind. Awesome. Let's get this thing put back together. Heck yeah. Alrighty, tubers, we got it all back together now. Ciao. Watch out, Lou. My dog's right behind you and he really wants to push the camera off. Alrighty. So, I went ahead and cleaned the tank out as best I could. It was bad. There was chunks coming out of it. A lot of varnish. Just a lot of different things. Got it all assembled now. It does actually have a little bit of compression now. I think we're in much better shape. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it started. And I'm going to see if I can keep it running on some carb cleaner. And if I can keep it running on carb cleaner, I'm going to throw a little bit of gas in. It's ethanol free with some B12 Chem Tool carburetor cleaner. Watch out, dude. Watch out. Watch out. Come over there. Sorry, you're sitting in the back of my car because I don't have a tall tripod right now. So, see what happens. First time I've tried it. First pull. Oh. So it's trying. Got an air leak right here. Oh, there's an air leak out here. I think that's normal. Let's go ahead and throw some fuel in it. See what happens. See if we can keep it running. See if it runs a little happier with some fuel in it. Yes, this is an old style gas tank. These are the best. They're hard to come by. I pick them up at yard sales whenever I can. Let's go ahead and put the rest in. I actually have another tank and new carburetor lined up for this. I found a guy who's selling the same exact engine on Marketplace. Dude, you're gonna blow out somebody's eardrums. You're gonna blow out somebody's eardrums. Stay. Stay. Guy's selling exactly the same engine, but it's all torn apart. And it's got a brand new carburetor and clean tank on it, so I might just go ahead and buy that up just for parts anyways. I've got other engines that are much like this and I could use the parts for it. Go, you're gonna knock the camera off. Little stinker. Let's see what happens. Got the choke on. Let's take that choke off just a little bit. Alright, too much or too little fuel there. Started leaning it out and started running way better. And then kind of shut it off, or killed it there. So, give me just a little bit. I'll be right back. Alrighty, tubers, sorry about that. It's been a minute. Had a good friend of mine come find me here and come and visit with me for a second. So we got the air cleaner on. You always want to tune the engine with the air cleaner on it because it might change the airflow just slightly, or the suction in the carburetor slightly, the vacuum. Let's go ahead and start this thing back up, let it get to operating pressure, see what it gets up to. There is an adjustment on this. There's a jam nut right here. You loosen that jam nut up and then you move this in and out to increase and decrease the air pressure. I'm not sure what this tank is rated for. It looks like an older thick one. The newer tanks are really just not rated for much. These older ones, if they've been taken care of and it's not rusted out, they seem to last longer, way better. But they also seem to be rated for a little bit more sometimes. You can see a little bit of water in there. I had it running with that open. So let's go ahead and set you down here. Let's get it started up and let's see this thing get to pressure. This thing runs super good after I tuned it. I'm very, very happy. For those of you who are wondering how much I picked this up for, $50 bill. I did check the oil in this and it is at a safe level. Check the oil in this, it's also at a safe level, but I probably want to change the oil in both of them sooner rather than later. I don't know why this is doing that. I guess it's just sticky or something. Those ball bearings aren't staying in place like they're supposed to. Or they're staying in place like they're not supposed to. Huh, that was just funny. Keeps doing that. Need to pull that apart and clean it out. Let's go ahead and choke it. This is the first time I've started it with just the carburetor. No carb cleaner or anything, so let's see what happens. Well guys, it runs awesome. Gets up to 100 psi. I might pop that up just a little bit higher, closer to 120. Have it stop there. I'll make that adjustment off camera. She's running awesome. This part looks original. I don't know about this, probably original as well. It's black paint. Then all of this looks brand new. This sounds like popcorn as it's getting close to the pressure. And then once it gets up to the pressure it's supposed to be, it pops off and stops running. I haven't supplied anything with air that needs air with it yet. Noticed just a little bit of a leak right there. Somebody resealed this, but really it probably should have been a gasket instead of gasket maker. That and blue. I'm trying to think of what blue is for. I don't believe it's for oil. I think that's for coolant. Different colors of RVT. It depends on the brand of RVT too, but usually different colors mean different things. I'm surprised that this carburetor and this gas tank works as well as it does, seeing the chunks that came out of this. It's running perfectly, no problem at all. You can see that it dances around a lot. This is not original. Somebody welded this up. Thankfully, it doesn't look like it got too heavy a penetration as far as welds are concerned. It looks like it was done with a stick welder, but there is no leaks from it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt this thing up. I'm going to drill some holes in the plate down here, and I'm going to take an old tire, maybe even that one right there, and I'm going to cut a chunk out of it, maybe even one of these four-wheeler tires. I've got plenty of old tires to pick from, but I'm going to cut out a chunk and bolt a bit of tire all across this bottom foot to help dampen and stop it from dancing around as much. That should totally fix the issue. What I was pointing to down here earlier, when I first got this engine running, when it was under load, it was barely more than an idle. This is the part that actually tensions against the governor, and that spring is a little sprung. It's worn out, but there's this stamped piece of metal down here, and all I had to do is grab a pair of pliers, as you saw in the video, and I actually turned it down just a little bit. I bent that piece up, making that spring closer to everything and bringing the idle down. You can do the same thing on just about any small engine without an adjustable throttle. This does have an adjustable throttle. It doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. It's kind of stuck in place. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it stuck in place than it turning down constantly, and I'll just use that metal plate down below to fix that, or to adjust it when I need it. That being said, guys, that's it for this. This is a finished product. Under unloader setting, 20 to 120 it looks like. So I'm guessing that's what you set your unloader at. I'm guessing that's what an unloader is. I've never heard that used. You can see probably tank gallons right there, rated pressure right there, and as you can see, it is not readable. I see a 1 and a 0. So I'm gonna guess it's 120, seeing as the unloader is set at 120. So we're gonna go ahead and bump this up to 125, like I said, off camera. But that is a finished product, guys. That's what the inside of the fuel tank did look like. It's clean now. There's a lot of varnish. I was actually able to screw that down. You just had to push real hard. I got that guy on. Keep the air filtered. I may or may not reseal this. That would take quite a bit of work to pull this all apart, reseal this again. Because you'd have to take these guys off, take that head off. You have to reseal everything you see here. I'll probably just leave it alone. It doesn't bother me too much. That back seal needs to be replaced. As you can see, there's a plate that you can actually take off that back seal and replace it. I may or may not do that. I may just run it as is and just, use it, enjoy it. Well, tubers, like I said, that's a wrap. We are done. We are finished with this guy. You'll see it, I'm sure, in future videos as I need air down here or air while I'm out working on stuff. This will be the guy. She's running great. She was running a bit rich though when I first got it running. And I had to turn that throttle down, as you could see in the video as well. When it was running, you could hear the RPM change slightly because it was still running a bit rich. It's right where it needs to be now. Shouldn't have any more carbon issues in that cylinder. And I did scrape all the carbon off that piston, lube up all the shafts. I'm happy. 50 bucks? Heck yeah. Hope you have a good one, tubers. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, like everybody else says. There's that little bell doohickey. I hate asking for that. I'm not asking for it. But if you like my videos, want to see more, you know, you can hit that bell icon wherever it is. Hope we enjoyed, tubers. Trying to get back into the swing of things here. Trying to post some more videos for you. Have a good one. Bye.